Hello, class, and welcome to Music as Social Commentary Essay 4 Walkthrough Lecture. Okay, I've done this with all of your previous essays. What I want to do is show you what the assignment sheet page looks like, where to focus your attention, but of course, first must focus your attention on everything. And this is a bit of a longer assignment sheet because this is a longer essay. This is the large research essay that every English 1A class must accomplish, all right? And you are ready for this. So it is worth a little bit more than your previous essays have been. It is worth 20% of the course grade. Under Consider, I'm going to remind you that you read two very challenging articles. You read David Hadju's Music in the Meltdown, and you read Joan Morgan's Fly Girls, Bitches and Hoes, Notes from a Hip-Hop Feminist. Both articles are social commentaries, okay? Both of these writers are discussing a musical movement related to an important social issue, and both are arguing how we should react, respond, and feel about that particular social issue. They use music as their evidence, but they also use scholarly material, reports, statistics, etc., to help make their arguments. Hadju's claim is that we are living in dire economic times and that the music that reflects the weak economy is terrible to the point of being unlistenable. This is his thesis. That's his argument. And then as evidence, he brings in all those old folk songs and original blues songs and says, see, this is what we do when we are sad. This is what we do when we are broke. And then he compares that time period of the 1929 stock market crash to the 2009 home market crash, where he talks about Big and Rich and Little Jeezy and some other artists and what they have talked about with the bailout. So here is your prompt. And remember, your job as the writer is to address the essay prompt. So you're going to select a social issue or event that has been discussed in music, either in the past or currently, and you're going to construct a thesis arguing what that music is saying about this particular social issue. Read the songs as an argument. What are they all advocating? How are they telling us to feel, to respond? And I think you should do this part first, because you want to pick no more than 4 songs to use in your essay, and they should all be supporting the same argument, okay? They should all be advocating the same thing, all right? So homophobia is bad, right? Get off drugs. Homelessness is an issue we must address. Child neglect is terrible. So you want to make sure that you pick songs that are in support of the argument you want to make. And then it's much easier to find research of a scholarly nature, okay, once you have the argument idea down and your thesis down. Now, this is a large essay. You will need 8 sources total, and I've divided that into popular and scholarly sources. And you'll be watching a video on the difference between the two. So things like interviews on YouTube, music reviews, tweets, okay, song lyrics, those are all popular source materials. And you will need to use about 4, okay? You can certainly use more than 4, but I would not use more than 4 songs. Scholarly sources are the meat of your argument. They are your proof. So you're going to be interpreting what a particular artist is saying in his or her music, and then you're going to use the scholarly source material to support that. So, for example, racial profiling, okay? I've had a lot of students write on this topic. The idea that more men of color are imprisoned and racially profiled than white males are is a fact. So maybe Jay-Z is singing about this, okay? And he's got a rap that he's doing about it. And then you could find some statistics on racial profiling to use in support of that idea. And that's really the happiest of marriages, all right? You're going to want to revisit the library research module that is in your course. I've moved it so that it's right below tools for the course, And there you will find all kinds of help. And you can certainly ask the librarians directly for help, okay, once you've picked your topic. And I've given you a list of topics that have been used in prior classes with great success, but certainly you can have your own. And you have already done the proposal for me, so I will be getting you information back on that right away, letting you know if I think your topic is going to work, okay? The only topic that's off limits is mine, right? The Cold War and the 1980s. And then there is your rubric. So this is an 8 to 10 page paper, 12-point type font, all right? The essay has to have a works cited page that it includes all of your source materials. The essay's works cited page does not count as one of the 8 pages of writing that you need to do, okay? Short papers will be docked. The essay must use direct quotes from all sources. And again, you might think about balancing your direct quotes with paraphrases and summaries. The essay must have a clear thesis that discusses what the music tells readers to know, to think, or feel about this clearly defined social issue. It must be grammatically correct, written at college-level English expectations, and it must follow MLA format. And remember, this is your final essay out of class. You will do a final essay for finals, but that is a much shorter and much more informal project. This is really the culmination of all the work you've been doing this semester. So I want you to look at your due dates below for various things, and I want you to read through this closely, and I want you to ask a lot of questions, okay? The people that do best on this assignment are those who have a very tightly constructed topic. They know what they want to write on and they call it something, okay? Body shaming, for example. And they have songs in mind that discuss this idea and discuss it in a manner that they can quote from. And that is really how you begin. But do leave time, and you've been given quite a bit of time for research, okay, a week for doing research. And I think that is about right. For 8 to 10 sources, you're going to need several hours, okay? Probably a good 40 hours, roughly. So I would make sure that you get started with that right away. And ask your questions along the way, please. All right, good luck.